Welcome to Unlock Your Child's Full Potential. I'm Billy, mom of three, positive parenting coach, and your guide to raising kids with connection, not control. Here we talk about parenting without punishments and constant power struggles, building deep bonds, and creating a home where kids want to listen, so you can enjoy family life to the fullest. Hi friends, welcome back to the podcast. Today I have something really special to share with you. An interview we originally recorded for my mentor, Wendy Snyder's podcast. Wendy, the founder of Fresh Start Family, invited me on her show to talk about my transformation with positive parenting, the before and after. And I knew I had to share it with you. You'll hear from Wendy, an incredible human being, and the woman I even named my youngest daughter after, as we dive into my journey, the impact of positive parenting, and the coaching program that completely changed the way I show up as a mom. If you've ever found yourself slipping back into old habits, especially when you're around people who don't share your parenting approach, or you want to confidently advocate for positive parenting in your own community, but sometimes hesitate to speak up like I did, Wendy's free upcoming event on March 26th is perfect for you. It's a deep dive into mastering the powerful positive parenting approach, and you can sign up at freshstartfamilyonline.com/mastery workshop. And if you decide to take the next step after that and enroll in the program, be sure to use my special link in the show notes to get $100 off. I can't wait for you to hear this conversation, so let's dive in.
Hello, families, and welcome back to a new episode. I'm so happy you're here. Today on the show, we have someone so special to Fresh Start Family. It is Miss Billy Ivanova. Welcome to the show, Billy.
Hi, Wendy. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming. Oh my goodness, you might go down on record as the farthest away guest that we've ever had, being in Bulgaria. And we're here in San Diego. But that's a long way. It's 10 p.m. in Bulgaria right now, and you are staying up late to chat with us. I feel so honored.
Yeah, me too. I feel so honored being on the show. So thank you for that.
Oh, yes. So listeners, Billy is so special to us, came to us as a student. Gosh, it must have been, I want to say, was it like 2018? Do you have any record of when you first, was it 2018? So I founded Fresh Start Family in the end of 2017. So you came into our program soon after we started and were just such a crucial, beautiful part of our community from very early on. I think the way and you'll have to like correct my memory here, because I talk about you quite often, but the way I remember it is you had studied with us for like a year or two instead of our Fresh Start Experience program, formerly always referred to as the Bonfire. And then one day we got a note from you saying, hey guys, I think it's time for me to graduate. Like I'm doing well and I'm going to move on. Maybe you had been with us for like 2 years or something, but you wrote in and said, I'm in Bulgaria, so the timing is hard to make it to live sessions. But my memory serves me as you were like, I have been watching all of the lessons. I watch the replays of the calls. I take notes in my little journal. I take it with me. I review it when I'm with my girls. And then you had gone on to say, even though I can't be there live for things, this work has changed my life. And what I remember, and again, I want to hear your side of this story because I want to hear from you. But I remember you saying something to the effect of like, thanks to this work, I now have a relationship with my daughters that I had always dreamed of. And of course, we all know this work is just like a giant work in progress, right? Like we're always learning and growing. We will continue to learn and grow till the day that we die. But at that point, just a year and a half or 2 years, whatever it was into this work, you had really felt like you had come a long way with your daughters. And then, my goodness, you blew all of our minds when you ended your note with like, by the way, I just had my third baby and I named her after you, Wendy, and her name is Wendy. And she's like this amazing Spitfire. And so I just remember the day the team and I got that little note, we were like, oh, Billiana, who is Billiana? And you've just been a shining light through all the years. You came back into our program when you decided to do our full mastery program to be a parenting coach certified in the Fresh Start Family approach. And that was just such an honor to support you during that 7-month intensive study program. But tell us your side, like, how did it all shake out for you from start up into now? What was life before a Fresh Start Family or before you kind of dove into this work? And did I get that timeline right? Like, did I get the story kind of accurate or what's?
Absolutely right.
Okay,
Yeah,
tell
I
me.
started in June 2018 when my oldest, Laura, was 4. And she's my
Mm,
power kiddo that challenges me every day till this day. And I'm so
yeah.
grateful for her. But back then, we were constantly locked in power struggles. So
Mm,
I was looking for help. And then I had
yeah.
my middle child, Mary, who was 2 at the time. And I was pregnant with the third one, with Wendy. And I was
Mm,
so overwhelmed and exhausted. And I was struggling with reactivity. So I was yelling a lot. And no matter how much I raised my voice, Laura just wouldn't listen. It wasn't helping. So I needed another way. This is when I think I saw a Facebook ad, and that's how I found you. And it really changed my life, like you said. I think it was a year and a half, I saw so much progress. My kids started cooperating with me. She saw that I care and she cared too. It was so beautiful. I started spending one-on-one time with her and our connection grew. And it just wasn't the same kid anymore. It was like, okay, we
yeah.
are a team now. We are not having battles over things. I started to become more flexible and just looking how to make things work for her too. And I'm so grateful to you for all the
Mm,
strategies and the mindset shift because I think that's the most important part. Not trying to control our kids, but trying to
yeah.
support them. And it changed everything. I had read so many parenting books before that, and I knew that yelling, punishing was not the way, but I didn't know what to do instead. So you gave me
Yeah.
a roadmap, and I was becoming more confident because I knew what I was doing, and it
Mm,
showed.
that's amazing. Yeah. And I love how you are just an example of someone who really decided that you were going to invest your time and energy and money to learn how to do it differently. And the follow through was just amazing because we all know it's hard, the kind of the self study route, so to speak, especially when you're upside down in a time zone and you can't necessarily make it to live calls or, that kind of stuff. But you just did it from this way of doing it where you were like, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to watch the replays. I'm going to just push play on the lessons. I'm going to do it however I can. And it was just really inspirational to see you do that. And so lots of power struggles. Were you trying like traditional punishment at all? Or were you just feeling more like permissive, not really disciplining? Like, how was that looking for you back then?
I was confused. I
Yeah.
didn't know what to do because yelling didn't help. I tried love withdrawal. Like I was raised
Mm,
that
yeah.
way. My mom didn't punish, didn't hit, but she just didn't talk to me for a few days.
Yeah.
And I tried this, it wasn't working as well. I like to joke that even as a newborn, Laura, her strong will was so obvious. She refused to breastfeed and only wanted the bottle. And I have read so much about how breast milk is the best. And I thought if she's hungry enough, she'll eat. And I held out for about 8 hours. She just cried and slept, but refused to eat. And
Yeah.
eventually I gave up and said, okay, child, you win. So with
Yeah.
her, all these approaches didn't work.
That
And
is so wild to hear how early you could feel it. Because Stella, you know all my stories. Stella was similar. We could just feel it from so young, how she just had this strength about her that was like, I want to do it this way. We had this thing called the hooter hider. It's like American term, like your breast, like your hooters, and you'd put this cape on. And when she would breastfeed, if I put the cape on or the hooter hider, she would cry. She did not like it and she didn't want to be covered up. She's always been like my sensitive girl where she would probably get like hot and couldn't breathe as well. And she would let you know. And then I would take it off and she'd be like, but she was just like little things like that. But she was not shy to let you know. that this or that. So that's wild to hear that you could feel it from so young. And yeah, I'm sure so many listeners relate to that withholding love thing, or like the
Hmm.
silent treatment. And yeah, just that feeling of it not working. So you started to study, you started to learn some new ways, you started to work on your own mindset. You had some incredible results after a few years. And then you actually went on in that season where you had gone off on your own as what we would say is like a graduate of the Fresh Start experience, which we always celebrate because we say we don't, some people are members forever because they feel so much better when they're engaged in community and they feel alone if they're not connected to parents that have the same mindset. And a lot of our people don't have the same type of parents like in their immediate town, so they stay. But we also celebrate when people graduate because we want you to feel confident on your own, right? So you went out in this season where you were like, okay, I'm walking the walk, I'm doing the things, I'm talking the talk. And you actually started your own podcast during that season and you started to interview experts and tell us about that. Like what sparked that?
Well, there was a gap.
Mm.
After a couple of years with the Fresh Start family, I really felt confident enough to continue on
Yeah.
my own. And I'm happy to say that I never reverted back to old ways. Yet I focused on connections as this is the most important part and stuck with it, but I skipped the discipline piece. So I was
Oh,
experiencing some struggles as my oldest one, Laura, became a twin. And it was again a challenging phase. And then I started looking for ways again. Like, what am I
yeah.
missing here? And that's why I started the podcast to talk to as many experts and parenting coaches and just prepare for the teen years because I wanted to have a teen that I can enjoy and be a safe space for her to come to me and
Yeah.
share. And I was feeling that we're not going there. I mean, I needed to change something in the approach. Then I started a podcast. And it's funny how life works. I just remembered at some point, well, why don't I invite my mentor, Wendy? She's having teens right now. She will
Yeah.
give me some great ideas. I think I actually asked you, do you have a coaching program for people like me?
Yeah.
Because I really want to become more fluent in this approach. I just felt this is what I needed at this time. So I was really grateful that in a couple of months you were starting the Become a Parenting Coach program.
Yeah. So I remember that conversation. I was like, yeah, we actually do. And it was our third year of offering the program. And I was like, here's the link. And you were like, done, purchased. I'll be there. I'm like, amazing. You've always really just been, I don't know, I can just tell you listen to your intuition and then you take steps forward to make it happen. And starting the podcast is such a smart thing to do. And that's one of my favorite reasons of having the podcast is you do get to talk to the most incredible people and glean their wisdom, right? Like you just get to have these natural conversations and you learn so much while also providing such valuable content to other people. So I love that you have a podcast. It was so much fun to be on your podcast. And I feel like we might have even aired an episode of yours
Yeah,
on our
yeah, you
show. We
heard it.
did, right? We did. I
Yes.
remember that. And then, so you jumped into the Full Mastery program, and we did just a fun deep dive for 7 months. You were part of our biggest cohort yet, 16 of you guys that jumped into the 2024 program. And man, was that a special group. Right? What a fantastic group of humans to personally mentor for 7 months. And talk to me a little bit about how you feel like you progressed or your growth that happened in those 7 months. Obviously, that program, all of our programs are so special, right? The Fresh Start experience is incredible. I think we have 120 lessons now. We have our weekly coaching calls, our monthly successes. Like we have all these amazing things, but it's a big group. And then when you get into a smaller cohort, that is direct access to me and just a higher level of accountability. And we're chatting a few times a week on our communication app called Slack. What was that like for you? And what progression happened in those 7 months that excited you? Whether it was the relationship with your kids, your parents, yourself, what happened within those 7 months or the before and after of that, Billy, that you could speak to, please?
Okay, maybe I should start with what were my expectations. I
Yeah.
really wanted to be able to explain my parenting approach to my husband because he's very supportive, but yet he wasn't fully aware what I'm doing. And then I wanted to tell my parents and my friends, because everybody saw that my kids are different. They behave differently than a lot of their peers. Like they're more respectful, they are more cooperative. And I wanted to be able to explain and be confident that this is the right way. So I really gained that confidence. And then the weekly meetings, I thrive on accountability.
Yeah,
It makes all
me
the
too.
difference because so many people just buy the courses and never finish them. I'm sure some of them even don't start the course. And then I love the weekly emails with all the clear action steps you have to take during this week,
Yeah.
the lessons you have to watch. And so I really immersed myself for these 7 months, watched so many lessons in this huge library that you have right now. It just really became second nature because I could practice with my kids immediately. Then I had to create a portfolio and then have practice sessions with my friends. So actually telling people about it, I retained so much more information that way than just listening. And then the community aspect I loved as well, because I'm one of those people that likes to sit in the back and not ask a lot of questions. I learned from the coaching that you gave other people, like their questions and their struggles. And then your support really gave me insights that I didn't expect. So that was a huge one for me as well. And then what I gained at the end, I think, is a deeper understanding of myself more than anything. Before the program, I knew modeling was the best way to teach your kids, but I wasn't aware how I am modeling some behaviors that I didn't like. Like I was retaliating in my parenting. I was wondering why my Laura was using revenge. I realized that I'm doing the same thing to her thanks to your coaching.
I
And
remember that private session that day. I just remember being like, yes, as a coach, I get so excited when we uncover something that is like an example of a little bit of a blind spot where you maybe just don't realize it, or it's tough. These behaviors are sneaky sometimes. And you just think like, well, of course, this is the way I have to operate. And then you realize, oh, I'm modeling the same exact behavior that they're doing that's driving me insane, that I want them to stop. And I'm like, how do I make them stop? And then you just get this beautiful moment of clarity with so much compassion, not shame,
ooh,
but just
self-compassion. That's a big
compassion. Like, oh, I see it. I see where I'm doing it. I see where my mom did it to me.
one.
And now I'm doing it, but I wasn't quite seeing it before. I just remember that day of just being so excited for you because I knew it was going to really just break open so many new opportunities and strengthen your relationship with her and put you at choice to do things different, right? When you were triggered or feeling hurt by an argument or whatever. So, yeah, that was huge. I think the private sessions part of the Full Mastery program is really pivotal, right? Like the group stuff is so cool. And then when we do those privates and uncover some of those limiting beliefs that when you bring them into the light, they dissipate so
Yeah.
much easier than trying to figure them out on your own.
Yeah. And actually, parenting is so much more work on ourselves than our children. And I'm thankful that the Fresh Start family has this part of it, working on our own limiting beliefs and our own protection behaviors. For years, I was intellectually, I knew what I have to do, but in the moment, I couldn't. I didn't know why. And I was blaming myself and feeling just yucky because I knew how to do it. The freedom to be weekend really helped me with a lot of that. And now I'm a calmer, more peaceful parent, and I'm so happy to live that way.
Oh, I love that, Billy. And I love you because it's like, I love it when like calm, peaceful people are like, oh, I raise my voice and yell sometimes too. And I'm like, really? Okay, then I'm not crazy because obviously I'm like a little louder and more boisterous and like out there, right? And sometimes I feel like, well, it's just my type of people. But then I meet some like peaceful, you just are so like chill and calm. And you're like, oh no, behind closed doors, I was like raising my voice and losing my cool. And it's like, oh yeah, we're all human. But just watching the transformation that has happened within you for gosh, a long time now, but specifically during the 7 months is I love it when I see someone that's like super chill for the most part, like you have this calm demeanor. When I watch someone like you grow in your confidence, like to be able to be really confident in what you're doing, there's often like a huge opportunity there that some of us, I feel like we need to like tamper down the confidence. We're like, can we just, like chill, don't be so cocky. You don't know everything. Like, I don't know. That's many of us, many of our students, I feel like kind of have. That was my journey, right? Like, relax, chill out, become more compassionate, humble, vulnerable. I feel like you came to the table with a lot of that. And then your journey has been a lot of like growing in confidence to like really be not just confident in what you're practicing in your home with your girls, but to be able to share that with other people now. I feel like I've watched you grow in that skill set to be able to talk to your husband or your in-laws or your mom or your dad or people now that you are helping to learn this same work, to just have your shoulders back a little bit and be like, hey, it's great to meet you. I'm Billy. Let me teach you this. And that is beautiful. And I think you're a great example of a student who came into the program for both things. We have a lot of students who come into the full mastery program that just want to reach full mastery in their home. So when they're triggered, when misbehavior comes their way, they know what to do in the moment. They're not frozen. They're not like, what do I do? Full mastery within the home, just as a parent, is fantastic. And then some of you want to get that, but then also be able to help others to learn the skill sets, the mindset shifts, the tools. And now you are an example of someone who is doing that and helping you grow in your confidence to understand just what an incredible parent and teacher you are has been such a joy. So tell us about what you are doing now with your certification. Because again, you are an example of someone who is now using it to build a career and to be able to have a purpose-driven career where you're helping other people also transform their family legacy. So what has that looked like for you? We know that is a journey. I'm 7 years deep now, and it is entrepreneurship and growing a coaching business, especially when you're coaching such a countercultural way, right? Like what we teach is very different than what a lot of other people in society are doing when they're raising young humans. But what does this season look like for you? What are you doing coaching wise, podcasting? Like, how has that progressed since you graduated from the Full Mastery program?
First, I want to thank you for the kind words. It really made my day. Thank you so much. And then about the coaching, right now I'm focused on one-on-one coaching with parents, helping them apply the Fresh Start family approach in a way that fits their unique family dynamic. We talk through their problems, how to use the tools. I offer accountability, support, practical strategies. Mostly I listen to them because this is what most moms need. Just holding space for them, letting them that they're not alone, that a lot of other people struggle with the same issues. That was a big one for me. When I started, knowing that, okay, nothing's wrong with my kid. She's okay. We just need a little different approach on how to handle things. So it's been incredibly fulfilling to help other moms build stronger relationships with their kids and just breaking old limiting patterns.
Heck yes. And so you're doing private sessions and you're still doing your podcast, right? Like, has your confidence grown at all as a podcast host since you went through the program?
Yeah, it feels so much better to say I'm a parenting coach, so I know what I'm talking about. But at Unlock Your Child's Full Potential, that's the name of the podcast, I just love inviting parenting experts and learning alongside my audience. I just love to grab little pieces of the puzzle that I try in my home, then recommend, and just having a bigger toolbox because every situation is different and we are learning a new way of thinking, being more creative, being more empathetic, compassionate, and yet the more tools you have, the better equipped you are to handle the situation effectively. So I love doing that.
So good. I love it. Yeah. It is true. You just get to glean all these little bits of wisdom. A few months ago, I'd interviewed someone where I was like deep in like a parenting struggle with Stella. And I just asked this expert, I was like, to help me about this. It was Eli Harwood, the first episode of our podcast in 2025. And I just love her. And it was like 6 minutes of her addressing the question. I cried and I was like, oh my gosh, done. Like full perspective on this issue I was having with Stella. There was like healing that happened. It was profound. And it was just like, oh, great. I love my job. I love podcasting, right? Like it's just so much fun to get those little hits of just these incredible people that you meet.
I love this episode. It was one of my favorites. And I have been following Eli for quite some time. Yeah, so it was wonderful to have her on the show.
Yeah, she was legit. Oh my gosh. Well, Billy, we love you so much. Again, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope this conversation inspired you on your own positive parenting journey. And don't forget, Wendy's free mastery workshop is happening on March 26th. If you're ready to deepen your understanding and stay consistent with positive parenting, sign up at freshstartfamilyonline.com/mastery workshop. I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you next time.